I've always loved classic literature, but I kept wondering why so many public domain books still feel inaccessible to modern readers. I wanted to see whether AI could help not by replacing authors or artists, but by making illustrated editions dramatically easier to produce. This project began with a single experiment. Could I create a complete illustrated edition of Homer's The Odyssey? What you're seeing is only a fraction of the finished pages. The goal wasn't simply to generate images, it was to build something people could actually read. This isn't a mock-up, it's a complete publication. As I worked through the book, I realized I wasn't solving an illustration problem anymore. I was discovering a repeatable production process. At first glance, this looks like a project about illustrating one classic book, but somewhere along the way, I realized the book wasn't actually the product, the workflow was. Once the stages became repeatable, the process became reusable. Each stage produces structured output for the next. That means fewer manual steps, fewer repeated decisions, and a pipeline that scales beyond a single book. Before generating a single illustration, I needed an editorial workspace to break the story into scenes and keep everything consistent. I got inspiration from my other open source project called BChat to break the prompt engineering process into planning and implementing. I didn't want hundreds of disconnected images. I wanted a real book someone could read. That became Booksy. Presenting the result became another manual task. So I built Teaser. A simple timeline defines the presentation, and the software renders it automatically. Every part of this workflow is open source. Every repository includes documentation and examples so others can reproduce the workflow. What matters most isn't one illustration. It's the consistency across hundreds of pages that makes the story feel like a complete book. The Odyssey is only the beginning. Thousands of public domain books are waiting to be rediscovered. If this workflow works for one epic, maybe it can help bring many more works to life. I started by trying to build one illustrated classic. I ended up building a workflow that makes creating the next one much easier. The Odyssey is the demonstration. The reusable workflow is the product.